mantra that can fulfill all desires, brings him ultimately to the topmost desire because he's very sincere. But at different times he has different desires that are the topmost desire. Kind of curious, what's it like to be where there's a wealthy king? What's it like to be in the realm of Indra? What's it like to be in Tapaloka and Mahaloka? And he hears about these places, he chants his mantra with that intention, and he goes there. Sankalpa. What's our intention? And in the beginning stage of bhakti, we may hear about the topmost, but the clarity of what that is like is different than the residents of that place. We have this standard prayer that we say for Lord Chaitanya. And all of you that offer your food to Krishna, one of those mantras that we chant is to Lord Chaitanya. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gauratrishya Namaha. He's the most munificent form of the Supreme Lord because he gives Krishna Prema freely. But he doesn't just give Krishna Prema, he gives Braja Prema, which is very, very special amongst all the different forms of purity. It's most pleasing to Krishna. It's the place of the greatest intimacy with Krishna, Goloka. And the name gives all of that. Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtan, another famous sloka. The holy name descends from Goloka. It's of Goloka, from Goloka. It embodies all of Goloka. Everything is there within the name. It can fulfill all desire. So what's our sankalpa? What's our desire? The message of Sharanagati is cultivating. Agati is moving in the direction of, coming to the position of Sharana. So as we go through those different gates, there's different degrees of clarity, different degrees of intensity, different degrees of elevation of desire. Sharanagati starts at the base of the pyramid. Just for pleasure's sake, transcendental pleasure's sake, I want to read some verses, Keshava Astakam, just the English translation of Rupa Goswami's rendering of 3 verses from Canto 10, Chapter 15, Bhagavatam, where Krishna is returning from the forest, and the residents of Vrindavan are seeing Krishna return from the forest. This is their desire. This is Braja Prema, wishing to be in Krishna's association again. So that's where we want to go. Then we'll come down to where we are. It's very nice. Sri Keshavastaka. I worship, the refrain is the same at the beginning. I worship Lord Keshava, coming back from the forest of Braja. He wears a Priyaka flower earring, and on his head he has a crown of fully blossomed malati flowers. And he is wearing a Brahmana thread of small, fragrant and white jasmine flowers. Picture in your mind. You're in Vrindavan. You're in Goloka. You're a Vrajavasi, and Krishna's coming back. And you see him coming. The same kind of a scene in Brihad Bhagavatam meets Mother Gopal. Here is Keshava. I worship Lord Keshava coming back from the forest of Vraja. He is happily calling his stray Surabhi cows. So let's get into the mood. Day in Vrindavan. Krishna is calling the cows. He calls them by group. Oh, Pishangi! Oh, Manikastani! Oh, Prasant Shringi! Oh, Pinki Kshana! Oh, Ridanga Mukhi! Ridanga Mukhi. There's a group of cows that have heads or mukhis, faces, that look like Ridangas. So that group is Ridanga Mukhi. Oh, Dumale! Oh, Shabali! Oh, Hamsi! Oh, Vangsi Kriya! In the course of my travel, I met some parents that recently had a small daughter, and they named her Hamsi, specifically one of the groups of Surabhi cows of Krishna. That was that they had in mind when they named their daughter Hamsi. So what do the cows feel when they hear Krishna call their name? It's a festival of love. And all the residents of Vraja who've been separated from Krishna, now they're again with Krishna in his shelter. I worship Lord Keshava, who is returning with thousands of Surabhi cows, with thousands of boys, and singing and dancing along with him. And at the other end, in the town of Nandagaon, await the residents of Vrindavan who haven't seen him during the day, and they are missing him terribly. We get the whole panorama of Vraja. It's all the residents of Vraja, according to their different rasa, have one thing: association with shelter of loving reciprocation of Krishna, desire, sankalpa. I worship Keshava coming back from the forest on the pathway of Vraja with the best of words. He makes his splendidly dressed and affectionate friends, who are all expert at the art of pleasant jokes, he makes them smile and laugh. His cowherd boyfriends, different reciprocations. I worship Lord Keshava. Coming back from the forest of Vraja, his cheeks are licked by a stream of perspiration. He is decorated with pictures drawn in mineral colors from Giriraj, Govardhan, and his curling black locks of hair deride the splendor of a swarm of bees. His rupa. I worship Lord Keshava coming back from the forest of Vraja. He beautifies the path with the marks of his feet, and he wears a garland of dust raised from the wandering cows. And his garments in peacock feather move with the waves of the wind. I worship Lord Keshava coming back from the forest of Vraja with the playful, sweet music of flute. He delights the heart of the Vraja's queen, and he makes all the gopis in their homes happy at heart. He makes the hairs of their bodies stand erect with ecstatic joy. One more. I worship Lord Keshava coming back from the forest of Vraja. He is worshipped by the gopis who mount the roofs of their palaces and meet him. From the roofs of their palaces they meet him with 100 manners of their dancing glances and their gentle smiles. the corner of his eyes wander around the gopis. And then the conclusion at the end. May Vishakha's friend Krishna give transcendental happiness and unwavering love for his lotus feet to the splendidly intelligent devotees who attentively read and hear these 8 verses, which are a glorious festival for all the gopis. That's the residents of Vrindavan in their mood of taking shelter. And the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is for us to receive that too, or return to our original, natural, affectionate relationship of love in service to Krishna. A festival of love. Return. Sharanagati is what Lord Chaitanya will hear in the first song. Lord Chaitanya came to give that. He came to give Braja Prem, but he gave it by this medium of the process of surrender, starting from wherever we are. We've forgotten Krishna. This quality of love of the residents of Braja is so far from our experience. It's certainly attractive. And that attraction of our heart is natural. So having a desire to again be with Krishna from whatever our position is. And we hear that in the Dainya section, we'll do the introductory song and 2 songs from the first set. Dainya, humility. There's, in the process of surrender from our position, there's a desire, a hankering, must be. Otherwise, why go anywhere or do anything? Some hankering. But not a material one, a spiritual one. But feeling, although that hankering is there, if we're honest with ourselves, sometimes we're honest with ourselves, that hankering is there, but the sincerity is not so strong, or it's wavering sometimes, much less sometimes. And a lot of it has to do with the mind, and the mind has other desires, and we follow the mind to those other desires, and we're that all over the universe, not only in this lifetime, but lifetime after lifetime. And fatigued as we may be, hankering for that shelter as we may be hankering, we're distracted by the flickering mind. Insufficiently sincere and insufficiently capable of controlling that other thing. This mind that seems to be ruling our lives, just like Arjuna asked in Bhagavad Gita, why is it that one wants to do something and somehow we find ourselves doing something other than what we want to do? Why is that? It's contact with the mode of passion, and then the mind is the repository of those desires, and we follow those desires into a blind alley, and there's a bully waiting at the other end to get beat up. Oh, wow. Why did I do that? Let me take shelter of Krishna, and then we do it again. It's easy to acknowledge that weakness or the shortcoming, and how to go beyond it. This Sharanagati is an ongoing submission process and an appeal for a greater strength than our own strength. And then further and further and further. We have a natural position. The natural position is identified by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. We're mentioned yesterday. We're the tiny fragmental part. Mami Angsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, with the Angsa, tiny Angsa, tiny fragmental part of the unlimited Supreme. And the function of the part is to serve the whole. We discussed this yesterday. That's who I am. I'm the part of Krishna meant for serving Krishna. Meant for Krishna's pleasure. That's who I am. My true identity. I want to restore that true identity. I don't want to remain shelterless. This spirit of independence is driving me to the place of no shelter again and again. And that place of no shelter is dark. But my stubborn obstinacy keeps me going there. I don't like that. I wish to not do that. Krishna, please give me shelter. Oh, all attractive Krishna, please attract me to you. So, the message I'm trying to share here is, on the one hand, there's something we need to do, and fruitive, as discussed yesterday evening, fruitive mentality is, I'm going to do it. You put your mind to it, and you make a commitment to do it, and by God's grace, I do it. And that's been our life, material life. And with its miseries and some mishaps and some things we don't get to do. But the paradigm of surrender is an altogether different paradigm. It's having a desire and recognizing, fulfilling that desire is something that's beyond my capacity.